Welcome to Ceramics with Mr. Bosmo. We're sculpting a bust, and today we're going to learn how to hollow it out. So here I've taken my bust off of the armature. The ruler that was inside of it has been pulled out. I'm removing as much of the newspaper and tape as possible from the bottom. You can see I had it laying on a big piece of foam to prevent damage. I'm now taking a wire tool and cutting the top of the head off. And depending on how your bust was made, you may cut straight up and down through the middle, you might cut the back off, you might cut the top off, it all just depends. And here I'm pulling out the paper from the top. You'll also notice that I did use two wires, one through the front and one through the back. That's because I was running into that paper. And then here I'm beginning to hollow. So I'm just using a round ribbon tool and just scooping all the guts out of the inside of my sculpture. I'm taking clay that has chunks of paper in it and setting that stuff aside to go into the garbage. The pure clay I'm going to ball up and we'll save and recycle. And I'm trying to shave away until I get the thickness to be about anywhere between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Thicker than that and it just takes too long to dry. Thinner than that and it's going to be fragile. So once you have it all hollowed out, then you're going to go take a fork and just poke holes all over the inside. This is going to allow air to penetrate the clay and dry it out more evenly and more quickly. So I've got to do the same thing to the rest of the sculpture. So you can see inside here that's rather thick. I'm going to lay it down on that foam and then go ahead and just continue to use my round ribbon tool to hollow away. And then I'm just going to make sure that I feel from time to time that I feel the thickness of the clay using two hands. So I put one hand on the outside and one on the inside and feel that thickness. You can see how thick it is in some areas, but like say down by the chin, I've just got to feel that. And it is quite thick down at the bottom of my face where I added a whole lot of clay to build out that chin. So I do need to dig in there as deeply as I can. Now if you go too deep, you just poke a hole through, you're going to get some more soft clay and just patch it up. And that is okay. You can't stress enough that you need to get everything thin enough so these will dry out well and not explode in the kiln. You'd do better to accidentally make a hole and patch it up than to leave it too thick. So then here I'm taking a fork and putting holes all over the inside. Now onto the bottom, laying it down on that foam again. And by the way, if the foam is being used, you can also lay this on, say, a pile of plastic garbage bags or paper towels or rags, anything that's just going to be sort of soft and prevent damage from happening. Or some of your sculptures, there might not be some areas that aren't all that detailed, and you can just lay it down on those. You wouldn't want to lay the face down on the table, of course. And then once that's hollow enough, I'm going to go through with my fork and poke holes all over on the bottom. So the entire inside of that sculpture will be covered with holes made by the fork. Last step then is to reassemble. So I'm going to aggressively score and slip. So both surfaces get completely scored up. I'm going to add a good heavy thick bead of slip around the top, realign my head and then wiggle it and push it to get it into place. I'll then use modeling tools and some extra clay to hide that seam.